This is Tank's Vlog for June 13th, 2018, wrapping up the day in sports. Let's begin a 10-game road trip. And once again, their offense was limp. They only got 3 hits. Jay Bruce actually got an RBI. That was a big shocker. Mets briefly had a 2-1 lead in the 6th inning. But then Zach Wheeler imploded. Paul Sewald gave up a grand slam. And next thing you know, the Mets lose to the Braves 8-2. What was interesting to see was Mickey Callaway getting thrown out in this game for arguing a play where Brandon Nimmo was hit by a pitch but forced to continue the at-bat as the umpires ruled that he put his elbow in the way of the pitch. You rarely see this call, which is why it's outrageous that it was called. And then Callaway argued. I think, personally, Mickey Callaway didn't want to argue, but the video of Terry Collins when Noah Syndergaard was ejected for throwing at Chase Utley came out, and he known he would have looked weak if he didn't argue. Of course, he still is weak, as the Mets went down in flames once again. Mets need Jacob deGrom on Wednesday to go out there and get a win. He probably has to go 9 because they never score for him. They don't score for anybody. This is ridiculous. This is now 8 straight games where the Mets have only scored 1 run once in the game or none. They've either been shut out or they've scored in 1 inning. How is that possible? How these numbers, these offensive numbers the Mets put up are so atrociously... Oh, God almighty. I've never seen this level of impotence in any sport. You could get Viagra, Cialis, anxiety, whatever the hell, whatever tiny little blue pill, and it won't get the Mets' offense to rise up, so to speak. Yankees, meanwhile, they continued interleague action, taking on the Washington Nationals. Got a great start from CC Sabathia. Didi Gregorius looks like he's getting his back going. Hit 2 home runs, 3-0 win in the Bronx. And Bryce Harper got hit twice by a pitch, once in the elbow, once in the foot. Had to leave the game. I mean, was not a good night for Bryce Harper in the Bronx. Elsewhere, Diamondbacks clobbering the Pirates. 13 runs there in that game. 13-8 is the score. Red Sox jumped on the Orioles today 6-4 to keep pace with the Yankees. It was the Phillies edging the Rockies 5-4. The Twins 6-4 winners over the Tigers. And bad news for the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera ruptured his left bicep tendon, out for the season. It's a guy who at one time never got injured. Now he's having a series of injuries the last few years. It looks like the end of the road of Miguel Cabrera is coming close. The Marlins beat the Giants 3-1. It was the Rays over the Jays 4-1. The White Sox beat the Indians 5-1. The Brewers blanked the Cubs behind the pitching of Chase Anderson 4-0. It was the Reds 5-1 winners over the Royals. The Padres doubled up the Cardinals 4-2. The Astros doubled up the Athletics 6-3. Despite a big game from Mike Trout with 2 home runs, the Mariners beat the Angels 6-3. Bartolo Colon reached a new milestone in strikeouts, but got clobbered as the Dodgers beat the Rangers 12-5. Today's 3 stars are Chase Anderson with his 7 innings, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts against the Cubs. Mike Trout, in a losing effort, went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 3 RBI. And Erie Androsnia went 3 for 4 with a home run, 4 RBIs for the Twins in their win over the Tigers. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Jonathan Lucroy, a guy the Mets could have had, but didn't, because they're cheap. He turns 32. And we take a look back to 1935, when James Braddock, the Cinderella Man, stunned the world and became the heavyweight champion with a unanimous decision victory over Max Baer. Of course, this was portrayed in the movie Cinderella Man, which unfairly portrayed Max Baer as a villain. Max Baer was not that type of person, and the movie was a good movie overall, but to me, the way they treated Max Baer in that movie really diminishes the whole story. Of course, if you haven't yet, listen to this week's Allow Me to Be Frank with Barstool Hubs. We talk about the Subway Series and general baseball. And of course, don't forget to click on my World Cup preview. World Cup just a couple days away in Russia. It's going to be hard this year to really follow with no Team USA. I always, of course, being part Italian, so very disappointed that Italy's not there either. Also part German, so I guess I could root for Germany to repeat. But it's going to be difficult to get into this year. And soccer, for me, is difficult to get into most years anyway. But thankfully, I have a guy, Stephen Mulvoy, who did my preview for me. So check it out. Click the link below. And as always, good day.